In 1823, on the American frontier, there was no law and no mercy. Men came here to hunt for fur. Most of them never came back home. One of them was named Hugh Glass. Two men would leave him for dead. They stole his rifle and his knife. They took everything he owned and left. But Hugh Glass refused to die. This is how he crawled back. Glass was quiet, tough, and respected. He had survived things that break men. That autumn, he joined an expedition. They pushed deep along the Grand River. The wilderness here was brutal and endless. The rule was simple: never wander alone. Keep moving, and keep your rifle close. Stay with the group, no matter what. Hugh Glass broke that one rule, and it nearly cost him his life. Scouting ahead, alone in the brush, Glass walked into a living nightmare. A grizzly bear, a mother with cubs, the deadliest animal on the continent. He had surprised it at close range. There was no time to aim or run. The bear was on him in an instant. It tore into his back and shoulders. It ripped the scalp from his head. It crushed his leg and opened his throat. Glass fought back with only a knife. Somehow, the animal finally collapsed. But Hugh Glass collapsed beside it, barely breathing, torn nearly to pieces. When the others found him, they froze. They could not believe he still breathed. His body was shredded, his leg broken. Every man thought the same grim thought: this one is already dead inside. The leader faced a brutal decision. They were deep in hostile territory. A war party could appear at any moment. Carrying a dying man would doom them all. So he made the men an offer. He would pay 2 to stay behind, wait for Glass to die, and bury him. 2 volunteered for the grim task: an older man named Fitzgerald and a frightened teenage boy, Bridger. They stayed as the others marched away. One day passed, then another day. Glass clung to life, bleeding, breathing. He simply refused to let go. With every hour, the two grew afraid. Every sound could be an enemy. Fitzgerald decided he had waited enough. They reached down and took his rifle. They took his knife and his flint, the tools that meant fire and survival. Everything a man needed out here. Then they left him in the dirt, unconscious, unarmed, utterly alone. They caught up to the others and told the lie they'd agreed on. Hugh Glass is dead. We buried him. But Hugh Glass opened his eyes. He woke alone with no weapon, no food, and a shattered leg. The nearest fort lay far away, over 200 miles of wilderness. Most men would have died right there. He would not. First, he set his own broken leg. The wounds on his back were rotting, so he let maggots eat the dead flesh, a horror that stopped the infection spreading. It was disgusting. It saved his life. And then Hugh Glass began to crawl. Mile after mile across the plains, dragging his ruined body through dirt. He ate wild berries and bitter roots. Hunger clawed at him constantly. One day he found a fallen bison calf, brought down by a pack of wolves. Starving, Glass drove the wolves away. He tore into the raw meat himself. It was the strength he needed. Every night the cold tried to kill him. Every morning he forced himself onward. One thought kept his heart beating. 2 men had left him to die, and Glass was going to find them. Days slowly turned into brutal weeks. Crawling became limping. Limping became walking. 6 weeks after he was abandoned, Glass reached the safety of a fort. Barely alive, but alive all the same. He had done the impossible thing, and still, he was not finished. He picked up a rifle and hunted. He found the boy Bridger first, the teenager who had left him behind. Glass had crawled miles for this moment. He could have ended him right there. But he looked at the frightened boy. Just a kid. Talked into a mistake. And Hugh Glass let him live. Then he tracked down Fitzgerald, the man who had stolen his rifle. But Fitzgerald had joined the army, and killing a soldier meant the noose. So Glass looked him in the eye, took back his stolen rifle, and simply turned and walked away. He survived a bear and a betrayal, not to take two men's lives, but to prove that they had failed. Sometimes the greatest revenge is not death. It is simply staying alive. Subscribe for the next true story of betrayal.